people entering.
Quick announcement. It is, in fact, my birthday. So
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
thank you.
Let's not, guys. Comms clear. Comms clear. Comms clear. We have a minute to go. I'm going to start getting this thing off the ground. We'll be going over some basic information and reviews. Khaleesi, you had some announcements regarding updates on T-shirts that have been produced for people who are looking to have those purchased, and I believe you'll have a link for that. Any of you who are new to the guild, who have not registered on the guild forums, which would be many of you, please use this time to make sure that you are getting set up on the guild infrastructure at this time. It is www.ruination.com. I'll put a link down below. Everything is very easy to follow on the website. So if you'd like to join us on the forums, simply click the forum button. If you'd like to follow any other section of the guild, you may click on any of those sections above and they will bring you to their respective areas so that you may follow information. The news section is news on games that we are playing. Live stream is our live stream. Donate covers guild upkeep. We make a lot of people really mad while we're PvPing. Some of them get angry enough to try to quote-unquote hack us for their frequent DDoS attacks and so on. And as a result, we have our own high-end Cadillac and, I would say, Rolls-Royce of server options to provide for that. And as a result, we have not had any significant outage on our website since. All right, we have a few things to discuss. Obviously, Elder Scrolls Online launched earlier this week. We are currently on the Aldmeri Dominion. We are engaged in 2 PvP campaigns, the Dawnbreaker and secondary Oriel's Bow campaigns. Sadly, our dominance is so severe that there literally is no resistance whatsoever in our primary campaign, where we control every single point on the map and have done so for, what, a week now?
A week straight.
A week straight.
One castle one night and I took it back.
Finally.
The PvP areas are still filling up too. So.
Yes, the game is just starting. As it currently stands, everyone is taking full advantage of the substantial leveling buffs and perks that provides for all of us. So at this juncture, I would not be too terribly concerned. I would focus on enjoying the game. There were a lot of bugs at launch. Most of them are getting ironed out very quickly. I would suggest just enjoying the game like you would enjoy Skyrim or Oblivion or any other Elder Scrolls game. There's a non-exponential leveling curve, which means that you will level at about the same rate in your 30s as you did at level 10, or you will at other periods. So just enjoy, get yourself up to maximum level, get yourself reasonably well geared. We'll be doing an event tomorrow to get everyone their sky shards at approximately this time. We'll try to get about 100 people to 150 people out in the field based upon our activities. We're looking for additional PvP leaders and recruitment NCOs for the Elder Scrolls Online branch. If you're interested, you can contact me directly or any of the other NCOs there. There will be much more PvP as time goes on, and there will be a greater need for more activity in that regard. Other gaming news is listed on our website under the news section and on the front page. As I stated last week, the Idris Corvette, which is the flagship of our coming fleet in Star Citizen, has been upgraded from a Corvette to a frigate and so on. For those of you who like internet spaceships, it's kind of a big deal. We have word that many of you have access to the WildStar beta at this point. That is an upcoming game. It's very cartoony, similar in play style to World of Warcraft. It's a sci-fi environment, and we will see to what extent there's an interest in forming a branch there closer to launch. And there is also a tremendous amount of additional information listed on other patches. There's updates for SOTOR and some of the other games that we're playing. There's still content being produced for Final Fantasy XIV, and there's a major skill set overhaul for Guild Wars 2 for those branches. In addition, we have a lot of new information for Warlords of Draenor. So if we have the screenshot links that I was putting around earlier, it's on our Facebook page. They already took them down. Interesting.
They pulled them off MMO Champion at the very least.
Interesting. So if you had a chance to look at them, you had a chance to look at them. It's very, very early work on the World PvP zone known as Ashran. It was our first look at it. It was very incomplete, but it seems to be the large-scale PvP zone that we've been discussing, battlefield objectives, multiple keeps, etc., and so on and so forth. That's what we're currently looking at. This raid group is full. How many full raid groups do we currently have?
2.
I'll be 3 now. Join mine. I need room. I need help.
Yeah, we need.
Morphine, I'm going to put you in charge of this. Make the groups make sense.
Hey, what y'all doing?
Make them make sense.
Havoc,
Surely
Mark.
such thing is not.
Mark Ark.
Did you invite me to the raid group? Wait,
sir,
dude. God, don't invite me randomly. Go ahead and invite me, Morphine. Or add more, thank you. There we are.
We all forming
Make
raid
these
groups
groups
for? I
make
just got here.
sense.
As
I know
invite
what you
group.
mean.
Give me raid invites so I can get this done. Alright, like we said, there's a lot of additional games out there. We have an active Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls branch in a second that we've opened. We have quite a few people playing in the Elder Scrolls Online. We will be looking at having at least 2 to 3 full branches going forward. I expect that once we have more people getting into the 40 to 50 range, but at least the 30 plus range, that we'll be seeing a significant upsurge in PvP. Be prepared for that. You're going to have a much more difficult campaign in the next section. But as it currently stands, and it was always our objective to decisively win the first campaign and make sure we were in a primary campaign where you all had access to the most effective leveling perks and buffs and so on to help you get to where you need to be. The game gets far better as you level. I don't think that you should judge Elder Scrolls Online based upon its performance in the 0 to 30 or even 40 to range. You should look to see where it goes into endgame. Like World of Warcraft and other games, it really doesn't start coming into its own later on. As far as World of Warcraft is currently concerned, we are in the final period of the Mist of Pandaria expansion. It is the final PvP season. Many of you will be capping out your characters with full prideful PvP gear, which means your character is in essence finished within 3 to 4 weeks, depending on whether or not you've been capping out. So I expect many of you to be fully prepared to fight and so on. I'm not too terribly concerned. Don't worry, we have scouts out there. We have some other information to go over. We have some specialists who'd like to discuss information for upcoming games. Lazarus, did you have some information regarding what you've been reading on Warlords of Draenor, so you could go over exactly what they're doing, changes to the fundamental game, stat rebalancing, etc.?
Right. So, we've been looking at a lot of games recently. World of Warcraft has fallen into sort of, a lulling period between expansions, as it often does. We've looked at WildStar. I wasn't particularly impressed by that, but I have been impressed by Warlords of Draenor. They're doing a stat squish to address the ridiculousness of some of you walking around with 1,000,000 HP. Tanks, I'm looking at you. We're also looking to see some changes towards PvP. If you haven't had the chance, MMO Champion has a wealth of knowledge. Actually, you know what? Even out with the MMO Champion, the Blizzard main site has paragraphs of information detailing, and they've never done this before, exactly why they're changing and cutting abilities. It was posted at the beginning of this week. You should all go read up on it. It covers every question. Some of you are already aware, probably if you play a hunter, that you're losing a lot of abilities. There's paragraphs of information detailing their thought process on why they're doing that and what they're doing to address some of your concerns with that. You all should read up on those. Class balance is going back to 0, which is a nice way of saying that they're taking all their old ideas and old, ways of doing things, and they've thrown them out the door because it wasn't working, and they're starting from 0. So everyone's losing a lot of abilities. Everyone's lost a shitload of CC. There's almost no instant cast CC left aside from a handful of stuns. Most everything that was an instant cast damaging spell will now be a castable spell. You're going to mostly just be casting if you're a caster. Look at that. The CC of Warlords of Draenor is really shaping up to be roots and snares, as opposed to stuns, fears, loss of control as a character. They've really pared that down. Everyone was getting really irritated with that. They've decided that that really isn't the best way to handle competitive game mechanics. So you're losing those, by and large. Superfluous, unnecessary mechanics that served only to complicate the game and not really add to a meaningful gaming experience have been removed. Now, I can point to a lot of specific details on that, or you can just go read. I suggest you all do that. But all of the classes have pretty much at this point been substantially changed. You need to appraise yourselves of those. Now, larger ideas, I'm sure you've all heard of the Mythic rating system. I won't go into too much detail into that, but they're retooling the way rating works yet again. The questing 1 to 100, we don't have too many new specifics since BlizzCon back in the fall, but, you know, again, they're looking to make it more story-driven. It's not supposed to be like, you know, this grindy side quest thing. It's supposed to be an adventure. You're supposed to have fun with it. Ashran, which Archaeos and I have, you know, certainly made you all very well aware of, obviously, is this new world PvP thing they're trying to push for. More importantly, with the changes to the arena system, we're looking to see some very interesting changes to the way you receive gear from PvP, especially world PvP, in the coming of Warlords Draenor. You know, there was a Twitter post about last week where Halinka was, if you don't know who that is, he's essentially one of the major PvP designers, was saying that he wished he could work on Ashran all day. So, good news for our guild. That's something we're very interested in. And that about covers where we're currently at with Warlords of Draenor. There's a few other specifics with lore, but that's not particularly relevant to what we're talking about here tonight.
Sol, are you on?
Yes.
Would you like to discuss currently what we're doing in Elder Scrolls Online and basically plans for the event tomorrow?
So in Elder Scrolls Online, we're basically in the building phase. We're recruiting up new members. We still need a lot of people helping with recruitment. Everyone can recruit, so if you see someone, have a friend with you in there, we're basically just building up our forces. Right now, we're stationed as in our home battlefield is, I believe it's Dawnbreaker. I forget the name,
right.
But yeah, Dawnbreaker. And the reason for that is because there's no real benefit to not being homed there. And by being homed in Dawnbreaker, since we own the entire thing, you get damage buff, healing buff, defensive buff, leveling speed buff, all kinds of buffs. So during this early part of the game, everyone should be leveling up, getting to their mids, 30s, and 40s range, and just really experiencing the game, learning your class, you know, just very beginner stuff. Outside of that, tomorrow we're going to have a PvP/SkySword event in Dawnbreaker, where we'll be getting everyone pretty much as many Sky Shards as we can inside a
How
circle.
many total Sky Shards are
45.
in? Right. There are 45 additional skill points for all of you to have.
15 skill points.
Which is
Yeah.
still a ton.
Yeah.
Right.
I have more than like a level 27 right now, and I'm level 17.
One thing
It gives
that
you a significant advantage, and you really should be there tomorrow.
One final thing that I will mention, if you are on the fence about the game, you can see footage of it all over the place. You can make a final decision, because this is the release product, more or less.
It's really
and
good.
if you enjoy large-scale Siege PvP and you played Guild Wars and you thought it was okay, just what I was telling Corbin earlier, it's the Guild Wars system extrapolated to a point where it's about 6 or 7 times larger. It probably more than that, with functional keep sieges, no culling, you can see everyone, and there's an interesting stealth system in the game, so if you haven't checked it out, you should. Give it a shot.
All right, we good to go? Everyone else, we've covered these things. Elder Scrolls Online branch will be holding the event out in Cyrodiil tomorrow at the same time.
We're also doing a PvP event today.
There'll also be an additional PvP tactical event being led tonight. If you're part of the ESO branch and officers who are dismissed down to your channels, everyone with active WoW accounts, we're going to do a quick run through as per usual.
Want me to stay, Eric?
Yes, we need everyone who's can't stay on their main accounts for WoW to be on their main accounts for WoW. Could I get my raid leaders to sound off raid group? This raid group has how many?
We're 5 short from full.
Havoc Sham with 38.
Who else is leading your group? Morphine?
40.
Anybody else?
So we have 3 or 4.
3.
3.
All right, we're good to go. All right, we're going to be taking the usual clear. We're moving to the flight tower in Ogrimmar. We're going to be moving to Borean Tundra, and then we're going to be hitting the usual positions.
The boring tundra.